If I can start putting it back in. All right, chapter 3. Still, and I call this function or fun. So we're still kind of working at that same area. We're not moving on to a new chapter. Some of these things didn't make the test, and that's okay. In 2021 anyways. So what we're going to do is kind of work with functions and kind of see the purpose of them. But we're still not going to do very much working with functions. Okay, we did some of the graphing stuff. Now we're going to work more on the what you would call solving equations things. So I'm just going to start with a basic function. And we're still working with linear functions. Okay, we should know how to do this. We did this the other day. Before I move on to something a little bit harder, let's make sure we remember how to do this. So the directions are going to say evaluate. Okay. And so I didn't put a bunch of these on your test because well, we needed more practice with them. So let's see here. This is how you evaluate it, right? Okay, that's how you show your work. There's not a lot of work on this one. What's that in the calculator? What is it? -4 times -4 plus 2. It is 18. Okay, that I can't make hard. You can, but I can't. Okay. So we are going to go to the next level because we basically did that, but we did that with like 3 different things, basically a t-table. We're going to have problems like this. F of x equals 5t plus 1. And so I'm going to want to find f of 3x. How in the heck am I supposed to do that? Why did I put a t? That's an x. 5x plus 1 is what that's supposed to be. I know I put a t. Okay, how would I do this? Well, I'm going to do it the same basic way as I did up there. Instead of x, I'm going to replace it with x got replaced with what? 3x. So here, instead of x, I'm going to replace it with, all right? Okay, could I maybe simplify that a little bit? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, technically this is not a new skill, but the new skill is kind of seeing how it is with function notation. Unfortunately, we don't get high enough in Algebra 1 to really see the benefit of functions, but basically it's to write less is what it is for, especially if you're dealing with a huge problem. All right, about as hard as this version is going to be like this. I'll call this, let's switch letters just so you get used to other letters. G of x equals 3x plus 4. And I want to find g x plus 2. What did I change x into? Okay, so that's all I have to do here. And notice every single time when I change x into something, I put a parentheses. Okay, even up here, didn't I? And the reason why I put a parentheses, because in algebra, that's how we write multiplication, right? So this just means multiplication, right? This just means multiplication. Although we don't just call this multiplication, we call this the distributive property, right? So this would be g of x plus 2 is just what? 3x plus 6 plus 4? What do I do now? Does that feel right? So did we just have problems on the other side of this worksheet that are exactly the same, except for they didn't have this stuff? Did we have to do distributed property on the other side? Did we have to combine like terms on the other side? So it's something we know, it's just, this is a short way to kind of ask the question. And again, we only do the groundwork in Algebra 1. We don't actually get to see the use of it because we don't want to get that difficult. All right, last thing that we're going to do on this is we're going to do some adding and subtracting. So we're going to do adding and subtracting with function notation. Just a little adding and subtracting with function notation. So I might have a g of x equals 4x minus 3. I might have an h of x equals 3x plus 5. And then I'm going to have something that says find gx plus hx. And this is kind of what it goes. So that, what am I supposed to add together? Do I do anything with gx and hx, or is that just kind of the question? So what am I going to replace gx with, do you think? Maybe replace this with what are we going to replace hx with? Maybe this? Okay, we're just substituting, right? That doesn't show up very good. Maybe it shows up better in HD. So this would be 3x plus 5. What do I do now? Combine like terms? 4x and 3x are 7x. Negative 3 and 5 would be. Is that it? So this is kind of like we have two separate problems and we're going to combine it into one. Why would we ever want to combine two problems into one? Is there a reason for that? There might be. Okay. Probably in a more complicated situation like a computer program, more than one thing goes on at a time. You know, maybe your GX algorithm and your HX algorithm are minding their own business, but all of a sudden they come together. And so you have to have some way to do that. This just saves a lot of writing. You can imagine what it'd be like if it's a lot more complicated. We're just not going to do it. And I don't want to confuse you by making it more complicated. Probably the hardest thing that we're going to do today and for the rest of the week is something like this. Let's see, f of x, let me write the right thing so it works out. And g of x equals, what should we call that? Maybe 4x plus 1, sure. And I want you to find f of x minus g of x. So it's minus. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Well, this should be easy. Yes? And I'm going to subtract. Anytime I subtract, I get worried about things, so I'm just going to put it in the parentheses. Because subtraction in algebra is hard. It's the hardest thing there is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this, and we've done this before. I'm going to change this into this. Right? Because what I have to do when I have a minus in front of something like this, I have to multiply. Okay, we're not going to do a lot of these, but we have some. Did I do that right? The distributive property? Combine like terms, 3x and 4x, 2 and minus 1. Am I done? That's pretty hard. Okay. This is what we're going to practice today and tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to give you your assignment.